Well, hello everybody. Here we are again, but this time in a different setting than normal. I'm here on my Twitter account, and I've ended up on Alyssa Milano's page. Now, I don't follow her, but occasionally I will go to certain people's pages just to see what crazy stuff they're up to and kind of what their daily rhetoric looks like. I do this with David Hogg as well, but today it was Alyssa Milano. As I'm recording this, it's January the 6th, which has a lot of meaning to the left. So there's going to be some posts about that. As you can see somewhere here. Yeah, join me on January the 6th with blah, 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 where we'll be discussing the 1-year anniversary of the GOP insurrection. Blah, blah, blah. But today, I wanted to put the spotlight on this thing that she retweeted where she's giving a shout out to Black and trans people who need aid during the giving season. Of course, I had a hunch that this would be a bunch of ridiculous requests for money and not much crisis going on. I think I was right on a lot of them, but let's go through them. So let's see what they have to say. Okay, this person, J, they, them. Let's see them. Dog parent to Moana. They, them. Educator. Black feminist and unapologetically queer. Anyways, they're from New York. They're a nobody. But they do tweet out this. It's giving season, and there are so many Black, queer, and trans people with disabilities with unmet crowdfund funds. Here is a thread of people who could really use your support this holiday season. Please pick a crowdfund and donate today. Please retweet. Okay, first one. Black, trans, disabled PhD student. Let's see what this is. Car totaled by drunk driver helped Jay get a new car. Oh, it's a Black, queer, gender nonconforming trans person who happens to be themselves. And no, I don't mean their own pronouns. I mean literally the very first person is themselves. My goal is $10,000 and I'm almost at $4,000. Well, now they're almost at $7,200. I'm Jay, a 30-year-old Black, queer, gender nonconforming trans person residing in Buffalo, New York. And yesterday, 10:30 at approximately 6 p.m., I was rear-ended by a drunk driver while stopped at a red light. The driver was going 60 and my car was totaled upon impact. I was taken to the hospital by ambulance with back and arm pain. While my auto insurance will cover my medical bills and the remaining amount of my auto loan, I am now left without means of transportation. I am a sociology PhD student currently working on my dissertation, and I require reliable transportation to get to school and work. Any funds donated will be used to purchase a used car and pay off any remaining balance on my auto loan not covered by my auto insurance. All right, well, you can buy a used car for less than $10,000, but whatever. All right, so the first person that they, and I mean the original poster, put was themselves. And as you'll see, that's pretty much the biggest donator. MTV True Life. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so they're a celebrity? Well, they have 52 followers. So no, I don't get that. Okay, the next person. Help Moes have a trans-affirming life. And you can see there's a big drop-off here. They want $8,888. Hey, I'm Mose. I am 21-year-old Black trans person from New York City trying to break away and find a new environment to grow or to heal and grow in. Anything you or a friend can contribute helps. Please donate and share far and wide. Oh, by the way, this kind of reminds me of that post. I don't know, I haven't shown it on the channel, but there was this guy that applied to DuckDuckGo, and he said, my name is whatever, Steven Smith, just a white guy name. And then he was very well qualified, and he got no response. And then he took the same resume, actually took a whole bunch out of it, qualification-wise, and then changed his name to some black woman, and then he talked about his sexuality or her sexuality. And of course and it was full of typos. And of course he got, responses back immediately from DuckDuckGo. And you'll notice that in these. Like, they're literally begging for $10,000, $9,000, and they can't, proofread their own begging. It's really funny. Also, my birthday is in mid-July. Ooh. GoFundMe does take a chunk of the donations for their typo. So if you can contribute via Cash App, here's all my crap. Or Venmo. Here's my dilemma. I was recently able to relocate to Chicago with my SW savings, looking to have a break from my parents' home in New York, and I discovered that it would be so much better for my health and development as a person to finally move out on my own. Back home, I live with a parent who refuses to see me for who I am and constantly misgenders me, who has been abusive and neglectful towards me since childhood, and who is chronically disabled. I mention this bit because, for a long time, many responsibilities around caregiving and housekeeping, my parent is also a hoarder, have fallen on me instead of others. And I'm recognizing more recently how this is tied to the violence of transphobia and forced gendering. Okay, just to pause here. How much housekeeping can you do if your parent is a hoarder? That implies that there's no housekeeping going on. I've seen hoarders. Those places are not, Marie Kondo approved. And then, there's more craziness here. Responsibilities around caregiving and housekeeping have fallen on me instead of others. The fact that I'm saddled with responsibility is tied to the violence of transphobia and forced gendering. If I leave this home environment, my family's dynamics around care and responsibility for my parent will be forced to move in a better direction, aka not on me. I should also mention that I have to pay my parent every month for household needs. Ugh. And the longer I've stayed with them, the more my savings... Yeah, see, I read that right. And the longer I've stayed with them, the more my savings that could be put towards independence are depleted. This is even more distressing as I watch my parents hoarding and excessive shopping on a daily basis, but am denied the right to know what my money is needed for. And this is so funny. Every month you have expenses. And the way that life works is you work for a living and you do save, but you do actually have to buy you don't save $10,000 and then just live for 6 months and then be forced to go get another job. That's not how it works. You just work. More savings that could be used towards independence are depleted. I have no other family that can support me or house me. Even while living on my own, I will still be paying for my parent and I's joint phone bill. Oh, God. I'm also a college dropout with thousands of dollars of debt waiting for me. Shocking. Trigger warning for, sensitive a-holes. I am a many-time survivor, sexual assault, and intimate abuse. See, they're getting into their life story here, and they cannot even get it right. They can't even not have a typo in that. I have a long-standing battle with social anxiety and social push-out for many different reasons. I am autistic, and I live with ADD and OCD as well. This mental environment can be extremely overwhelming and disabling, especially when I am in my parents' home, where I feel so stuck, depressed, and isolated, and they're paying for all my stuff. I had to leave therapy recently as well, as I came to terms with how ableist and transphobic my therapist was to me. Her perspectives on the abuses that I've experienced were especially harmful, as she uses compassion and lessons on neurology and my abuser's trauma to help me be more understanding of why people have abused me. And I think her therapist is saying that's in the past. You have to understand why they did it, and all you can do is just forgive and move on if you ever want to get over it. But see, she doesn't want to get over this stuff because this is her whole identity. And that's not what therapy is about. Therapy is about moving on from stuff, detaching yourself from these forced identities that you create. This, in addition to her not listening to my beliefs about what disorders I'm struggling with and making suggestions that were inconsiderate to my reality and unhelpful, plus misgendering me. So, there you go. Social anxiety, sexual assault, intimate abuse, social push-out, ADD, autistic, OCD. These are all self-diagnosed labels that she's put, that she's seen other people use, and so she's using them on herself. And I say she in the, whatever word. He is putting them on himself. It's just so stereotypical. Can they not all be exactly the same? It's just so dumb. Right now, I'm looking for minimum wage work and an affordable space to live on my own. The place I'm in right now is only a month-long sublet. I am an artist invested in drawing, painting, music, fashion, and filmmaking. Go figure. Shocking. All the things that don't make you money, I'm into. Still trying to build capacity and resources to create more. I aspire to be a part of a true liberatory community of folks like me in the future. I have always done a lot to care for and support other people around me, financially, emotionally, physically, etc., but I feel so often that others are unable or unaware of how to pour back into me and see my pain. So for now, I just want at least this level of independence to be able to pour back into myself and manifest a better future for me and inevitably those who I care for, because I'll always pour back into others. You'll notice this is a trend. Even you see it in the first one. If you help me, I'll help other black trans people. That was what the first lady said. If you help, here's all these people that need help. And then the very first one is themselves. Here's this one. I'll be able to help other people as soon as you get done helping me. We know how that works out. Never happens. All right, moving on to the next one. Mental Health and Care Fund. $6,000 goal. Hi, I'm AJ. I'm seeking assistance in paying off debt and accessing trauma-informed therapy as I transition to the workforce so that I can do so healthily. Well, why is that? Why do you need trauma-informed therapy to go to work? Work today is real easy. I've seen so many idiots, unqualified doofuses who work. You need trauma just so you can do that. This will also assist me in becoming self-sufficient in a sustainable way. You see this a lot. You'll see this a lot. This will also assist me becoming self-sufficient in a sustainable way. I'm also asking for help funding furniture and clothing to replace personal belongings that unfortunately had to be mostly left behind. I don't even know what that means. Why is that room to beg? Therapy to address trauma impacting my daily life and functioning. I've received help in the past without which I wouldn't have made it this far. Thank you for joining me in addressing remaining concerns so that I can move forward. P.S. Other ways of helping me are to hire me to build your website. Okay, so she's a web designer. He is a web designer. Blonde eyebrows. Moving on. Help. Southern queer with urgent expenses. Now, see, I read that and I got no urge to donate at all. I read that and I want to. Donating is the least thing of my concern. They want $5,500. All right. Hey, y'all. After hesitating for a while, I'm reaching out to my community for support. I am a black, queer, non-binary person living in a small city in southwest Georgia. I am a working class artist, apprentice farmer, and in school for carpentry. Recently, my truck head gasket blew, and because of the condition of the engine, I'll need an entirely new engine altogether. My truck is my livelihood, and without it, it impacts my ability to go to work, farm, and haul equipment, as well as my photo shoots. The public transportation in my town is not functional or easily accessible. On top of that, I've been dealing with a year-long rash that periodically flares up on my face and hands and impacts my circulation, which restricts hand movement. It turns into open wounds, and I have difficulty just gripping my camera. I'm uninsured, and for the last year I've been paying out of pocket for visits and medication from 2 clinics and 2 specialists, and no one is sure what's going on. After this last round of tests that proved inconclusive, they would like to move towards a blood test to find out what is going on and give some relief. Additionally, I've been battling severe depression for the last few years, and recently my spirals have gotten worse, so much so I'm concerned for my safety and well-being. I want to book an eval with a psychiatrist and follow-up sessions in order to access medication, but the hoops to jump through uninsured are expensive. I am asking community to support me for my mental and physical health and safety. My goal is $5,500 to cover all this expenses, fees, and underestimated cost. Like, they literally cannot get it together to beg for $5,000, typo-wise. The engine will cost $1,500. My medical bills have added up to $1,680 and will cost $654 to get this new blood work done. I'm estimating $400, another $400 for 2 follow-up consultations and medication. The initial visit to a psychiatrist will be $250, and for 3 follow-up appointments, $525. So the total is $5,009. Other avenues to donate is my Cash App and Venmo. On to the next one. Help a Black trans person with disabilities avoid homelessness. Now, they don't have a GoFundMe for this, but they just have this picture. Help a Black trans person with a disabilities avoid homelessness. Like, they literally cannot get it together typo-wise. They just can't. Help a Black trans person with a disabilities avoid homelessness. Augie is a trans person with disabilities and disability advocate who is not getting their lease renewed, and were told this at the last minute. Sadly, they are in housing debt and do not have the money to get that back rent removed from record from a place that has left them being denied housing. Funds are needed in order to rent a car, move their belongings into storage, and for temporary housing until they find a more stable place to live. Now, I don't know what disabilities they have. They look okay to me. I mean, certainly they look like they've been getting their testosterone pills pretty regularly with the beard. I don't know why that money wasn't being spent on, housing. None of these people think this stuff through. I might be homeless, but I'll never miss a hormone replacement therapy session. It's just so stupid. Now they don't have funds to even move out, and yet they're totally screwed. They're totally screwed, and they never thought about this. Their dedication to the ideology trumps everything, including common sense or even the basic need to survive. Oh boy. Help Soul with survival. Look at these names. Yubaba Nafisa is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of Tanina Jackson, asking $15,000. Hello everyone, I am fundraising in order to sustain a safe and secure home environment during this pandemic. And as I get my degree, I am completely on my own without any familiar help to support me, and have recently been hospitalized for and diagnosed with chronic breathing issues. I wonder why. Look like you got a lot of money that you've been eating. Due to this and other disabilities, I am unable to work during this pandemic at the time. Any help I can get with this, I would really appreciate and would help me be in a safe place. If y'all want to donate directly to help me with day-to-day survival, here are my pay links. See, you cannot convince me any other way that these people create victim mentalities and victim mindsets, and they label themselves a trillion different things so that they can do this, that they can beg and get sympathy. All right, moving on to the next one. Help Punch. Punche. Help Punch. Remain housed and stable. Hello. Hello there. Wow, $17,000. Hello there, this is Punch, she/they. I am a neurodivergent photographer and record producer, aka I don't make money, that acquired housing a few weeks ago after being homeless for the second time in 5 months. Yep, they don't make money. I'm a sexual assault survivor and a victim of parental emotional incest. I don't even know what that is. There's either sexual incest or not, right? Emotional incest. Oh, my parents loved me when I was a kid. What is that? I have PTSD, ASD, and ADHD. So finding employment has been difficult in this pandemic. I'm in need of assistance ASAP. I know it's a lot, but I'm thoughtfully asking for everyone to help me raise $17,000. This money will help cover 1 year of rent, okay? Getting new IDs and documentation to line up with my chosen name. I've already legally changed my name and have a social security card. Well, how much does getting a driver's license cost? I mean, they're asking $17,000. How much does that cost? $5,000 to get an ID? Is this why black people can't vote? It's because of this? Don't know. A new phone. I'm currently working with a beat-up Android Cricket phone that I've owned since May 2017 and can't afford to upgrade. Any money left over will be redistributed to fellow black people. Oh, isn't that nice? I'm in the process of starting a freelance photography/merchandise business and making a website so folks can purchase photographic prints and merch. Also, I'm working on music as an up-and-coming island electronic composer, record producer. So here's more stuff that takes away from time that they could be making money. We'll drop some heat worldwide before the end of 2021. Wow, can't wait to never hear about that. It's rather difficult to ask for help, especially during a global pandemic, and asking for something of this magnitude. But frankly, I really need all the help I can get, and then some. I'd be immensely grateful for this assistance. And the reality is, if I'm stable, I'm then able to help other black trans people. See, it's all about other people. See, these are givers. These aren't takers. These aren't moochers or beggars. These are givers, okay? They're just trying to give. They're just in a bad place right now. Back in December 2019, I was illegally evicted out of my millionaire alcoholic hebephile mother's house in Crown Heights and left homeless for 3 months. Now, I wonder if she was paying rent and was back in the same situation from June to late November. So she was kicked out, and then she came back for 3 months, and then she was back in the same house. This horrible, abusive person took her back in and paid for all of her stuff again. And then I'm sure she's such a mess, she got kicked out again. See, I am an emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and physically, I don't know what they're trying to spell, shipwrecked. These string of events have stifled my creativity, well-being, and inability to do simple things like run errands or make money or support myself or do anything other than beg to strangers on the internet. So please, if you can kindly share and donate, if you've made it this far, thank you for reading. Bless up and help me for songwriting services. Okay, we're on a new page now. Please help my disabled daughter. Now, I want you to notice something about this, okay? This is probably the most legit GoFundMe on the whole thing. It's raised $405. They're asking $9,000. The person that shared this, Jay, I don't know what list this is, but they listed all these people, including themselves, before they ever got to this person. This My daughter Sunny is disabled and doesn't have much of a life since COVID hit. This pandemic has caused her Great Depression. Well, that's what we all said, but you didn't want to listen. Of course, her lifelong dream is to be famous, a famous makeup artist, and to one day become a life coach and a beauty influencer for teens and young adults. Sunny is multi-talented in spite of having TBI, with shearing to her brain after being struck by a vehicle at a very young age. Since the accident, she's known nothing but pain and misery. She now has a learning disability, so she processes things a little differently, aka not very good at all, and probably won't be a famous makeup artist. She also has an optical nerve damage, so she's totally blind in her left eye and low vision on the right. Alright, well that's not going to be great. Not doing my makeup. Throughout Sunny's drawn-out journey, I've been able to wipe their tears. Oh, I've been there to wipe the tears. See, asking $9,000 and they say, I can't even get it right. I have been there to wipe the tears and uplift her spirit. What I am trying to teach my daughter is I can never undo what was done, only to help her process it differently. I can never change or ease the hurtful things that so-called friends and family have said or did. I can just go online and beg for money. Whoops, I can only teach her how to love all, even those who have intentionally hurt you. Sunny has a beautiful heart, and her selfless ways make her so remarkable. She has always found ways to brighten and touch any and every soul she encounters with. I would like to finally do something special for my Sunny. I would like to send my daughter to a beauty college so that she can get licensed to become an esthetician. I don't think that's how you spell that, by the way. I would like to help Sunny purchase school supplies, proper lighting, and any other materials or items that is needed. I'm also willing to take any necessary class or training courses with Sunny that is required that she succeeds and passes. Any small donations will be extremely helpful or grateful. See, that's probably the most legit one. $400. Help Nikila Spark pay rent while she's injured. Hi, I'm Nikila Spark, a 24-year-old woman of trans experience with a full goatee. And I'm renting cars to DoorDash in order to simply survive. I need $400 by the 22nd of May to afford rent, or I will be homeless and my finances depleted. So they're asking $1,000, something reasonable. Got $700. Right now I have tendinosis from lack of sleep and repetitive stress injury. My family has rejected me from simply existing in their space. Boo-hoo, 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 oh, boo-hoo, I'm me. It's so hard to be me. I made myself a freak, and now I'm having trouble in life. Oh, help. Okay. Please help an immunocompromised black TMA couple survive the fall and winter. They have fallen on hard time due to pandemic and need help urgently. See, typos. They cannot even get it together. Even when they make a presentation like this, they cannot get it together. They have their Cash App, their PayPal, all that. Cannot get it together. Immunocompromised. What does that even mean? You have asthma? They don't elaborate. Why would I give them money? I don't even know. Is this a white guy named Ted who made this up and just posted it on here? Are they... it looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint. Why would I... There's no way I can verify this. What a joke. Black agender person needs assistance. Due to chronic sciatic pain, I've had to take time off work, unpaid. As many of you know, I don't know, I just relocated, which was extremely expensive. All donos help. Mahogany. Oh boy. Imagine you have a kid, right? You have a kid, I don't know what they're named, Tyrone, Deshaun, whatever it is. And then they grow up to be this. They play football, they do whatever, they're into basketball, they're into sports, they like Dragon Ball Z, whatever, typical little black kid. And then they grow up to be this. An agender person who definitely seems to lean towards a specific gender. And then their name is Mahogany. Wow. Black trans person with chronic pain needs funds for housing. Black disabled trans person fighting homelessness. Z. Well, there's a name you can really get behind. Z is in urgent need of material support. No capitalization here. Their landlords are kicking them out, which puts them at high risk. Housing stability is necessary to their survival. Please help raise necessary relocation funds for Z. They experience daily debilitating pain and need this move to rest, heal, and be safe. I think it's so funny. They always say housing stability is necessary to their survival. It puts them at high risk. So funny. As if like a white guy named Ted, who doesn't have a job and is getting kicked out, isn't at high risk. Or that housing stability for white people isn't necessary to their survival. It's just this dumb language. It just pisses me off. I had to make this just because of that. Here's another one. I love just the solicited begging on the pages, you know? Urgent, need help. Please don't ignore. I'm a homeless black trans. I lose my job and been living on street. I'm sick. I need help for medicine, food, and a place to stay. Please help me and boost my post. PayPal at blah, blah, blah. I've been trying to get help, but still unnoticed. Beg for money and cannot get it together. It's just so funny. I'm a black queer person, caregiver for my mom and grandma who both passed away in the same month. I was laid off due to COVID and was attacked in my home. Would grandma do it? I need a safe place to live, and any donation or signal boost is appreciated. Okay. I'm desperate. I'm an autistic, bisexual black male who recently turned 18 and was kicked out because I was caught planning to escape my toxic/abusive living situation. I haven't graduated. I work part-time, making about $450 every 2 weeks. And I also have a pet Labrador retriever. I have no pictures of my dog because I couldn't take her with me right away, and my parents took my old phone. When I left, I had to buy a new one. Eventually, I want to get my dog back too because my father has been abusive towards her before. I only have about $600 to live on until my next bi-weekly check. Hey, it's bi like you. My next phone plan was about $200, and I can afford 3 nights at a cheap hotel. My money is running low, and if I don't figure something out by the next 2 days, I'll probably end up in the streets in freezing weather. I have no family to go to, as my father contacted all of his family and told them not to let me in, and my mother's family lives far away. Now, you know, this reminds me of... they would say this on Loveline all the time. People would call in and they'd say, you know, I went to college and I experimented with my sexuality and I realized that I'm gay. And I know my parents, I really want to tell my parents that I'm gay. I want to break the news to them when I come home on spring break, but I'm afraid that they won't accept me. And then how should I handle this? And so Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew, they'd say, all right, well, are you going to live? How independent of your parents are you? And they'd say, oh, I'm totally dependent. They're paying for my college. And then when it ends, you know, in the summer, I'm going to go and live with them. But if I tell them, they'll kick me out and disown me. But I still want to tell them. So Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew would always say, don't tell them. Until you have a community, a support system, a real job, you're totally settled in your life. Why risk yourself? This is the risk right here. That you make your whole identity to be this autistic, bisexual black man. And I'm broke. I make nothing. I make $900 a month. And I make nothing. I'm so broke. I'm going to be homeless, but yet I'm totally committed to my identity. What a joke. Please help Hans with transitioning and shelter. Asking $20,000. I'm a black trans woman I think I see a beard. Struggling a lot with shelter, food, and money for transitioning, as well as body dysmorphia due to not transitioning. Any donation I receive will go directly towards these needs. This is such a joke, you know. There are actual kids and families who are really going through it. People who had no choice in the matter, who can't delay their treatment. This person wants to transition, but you know, you can put transitioning off. You can transition when you're doing better in life, when you actually have it together, when you've worked really hard and paid all your dues and actually are able to, you know, financially support yourself and then have additional money to transition on your own time. But you know what? Kids with cancer do not have that opportunity. It hit them when they're 6 years old and they're going to die, maybe. If they have there might be a chance that they live if their family dumps every penny they have into keeping them alive. These people need actual help, not Hans Vital. What a joke. Every single one of these is a joke. I mean, look at this, just random begging. Is there someone able to help me? Please, it will mean so much to me. Thanks a lot. $150 for groceries, $250 for medications. I hope there will be help to give. Merry Christmas. Like this person says, I'm seeing a correlation between the people who ask for this type of quote-unquote help. Maybe it's because y'all are a bunch of lazy bums who can't get jobs because you're dressed like freaks. Just a thought, though. Amen. So anyways, that's the thread. That was all the calls for help. We really got to rally around this very vulnerable and sensitive community. They need all the support they can give. I'm glad Alyssa Milano retweeted them. They definitely... She'd rather spend charity money on Mexican landscapers. Yeah. Anyways, you know, hey, I put all these accounts out there. You know, if you're feeling in the giving mood, go ahead and give. But that's all I got for today. I'll see you all in the next video. I do have more videos coming. I'm just working on editing them. So stay tuned. See you all in the next video. Peace.